for him. And the Prime Minister doesn't want hereditary peers. And King Charles didn't like that. He felt very uncomfortable about that, because most of us know that Starmer was against the royal family for a very long time.
Stop taking went to Eton as a qualification to run the country. I mean, now.
Keir Starmer and King Charles have found themselves at odds over a critical issue that's making headlines. Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, disagrees with the King's strong stance on supporting Ukraine against Russia. This difference in views has sparked a political firestorm.
Jacks, yeah. The kids are there to see the King. They don't even know who Angela Rayner is, and yet she's waving at them as if she's as if the kids think she's Taylor Swift or something.
Hopeless Keir is also waving at them. If you see him, he's going to go, hello.
Keir Starmer, known for his attempts to unite, now finds himself in a tight spot, torn between his party's direction and his own views. Meanwhile, Ricky Gervais hasn't held back, calling out Starmer for how he's handled the tensions. Gervais is questioning how someone with a history of shifting views can now be trusted to make decisions that affect the country. His comments have only intensified the ongoing debate about whether political leaders can be trusted when their beliefs seem to change with the times.
It was just lying in their own part, and I just think I didn't really. I don't think I think there were. I thought there was good guys and bad guys, but now I just think they're all little. Is that political? Is that some really nuanced insight into the workings of society? Greedy little posh. Good. That's why I don't get political.
Ricky Gervais is never shy about calling out those in power, and he's recently taken aim at Keir Starmer. On social media, Gervais expressed his disbelief over how figures like Starmer rise through the political ranks. It's a sentiment shared by many who question how certain politicians end up in charge. Gervais sees it as a flaw in the system, allowing people to gain power without the qualities true leaders should have.
And he feels that he doesn't want him to do that with the monarchy. Now, we could be in dangerous water here, or on the other hand, it could be something that passes away. But it will be very interesting that that's the first thing that the Prime Minister has done in changing who goes to
and also, obviously, King Charles.
Gervais' criticism goes beyond just Starmer. He's frustrated with the entire political elite in the UK. Always outspoken, Gervais has long questioned politicians who, in his view, don't prioritize the public's interests. His take on Starmer fits this narrative. He believes many politicians rise to power not because of their values, but because of a system that lets them manipulate the game.
I think there must be something we can do. You might remember I've been alluding to this really since about the middle of July. About 2 weeks into this government, I was saying there's something wrong, there's something smelly, there's something really very odd about the whole Starmer arrangement, whether it be his personal life, whether it be his political life, whether it be the way that he comports himself. There's just something very wrong about him as Prime Minister of this country. And so it's proved. And so with every single week, as we've been saying, something else happens. I mean, I agree with Tim, I don't think I've ever remembered a terrible government which has just done one misstep after another, where everything they do, everything they touch just turns to something other than gold.
While many supported Gervais, agreeing with his skepticism, others felt his comments oversimplified the political process. They argued that Starmer's rise, like any elected leaders, is the result of democracy. Votes matter. Still, Gervais' words resonated with those disillusioned by a system where too many in power seem disconnected from the everyday citizen. This ongoing debate only deepens the growing rift between the political establishment and the people they're meant to serve.
I've hit that age where I go, but they're all lying little.
Keir Starmer has long been a vocal critic of the monarchy, aligning with Republican views within the Labour Party and questioning the royal family's relevance in modern Britain. His stance wasn't just personal, it was part of a broader debate about redefining the monarchy's role in a changing society. Starmer was seen as a champion for a more democratic future, pushing for a shift away from the monarchy. But recently, his position has shifted. He's been seen at royal events, softening his tone and engaging more with King Charles. This change has raised eyebrows eyebrows, especially among those who remember his earlier criticism. Now, it seems Starmer is trying to warm up to the monarchy, a move that many find puzzling given his past views.
It is really quite weird, isn't it? Very unusual for the Prime Minister and the King to meet in these circumstances, I'm told.
Oh, well, there you go. Starmer and Rayner are absolutely milking it for all they can under the utter deluded thinking that the kids are waving at them.
Ricky Gervais, never shy about speaking his mind, has been quick to call out Starmer for his shift in stance. He's labeled it hypocrisy, criticizing politicians who once openly opposed the monarchy and are now eager to align with it. Gervais's frustration comes from the sense that leaders like Starmer flip their views based on what's politically convenient, showing a lack of true conviction. To him, this kind of flip-flopping only undermines public trust in politicians.
Right, and the coat looks as if it was made for, somebody twice her size.
Yeah, well, she has a fashion, shall I say, style all of her own.
She certainly does.
The Deputy Prime Minister, doesn't she?
She's sort of the Vivienne Westwood of the cabinet, isn't she?
I'm sure that people across the world are looking at her and constantly going, what brand is she wearing?
Yeah.
Is it a famous British brand?
Rayner.
Can I buy it?
Yeah.
The Princess of Wales needs to be very careful. Angela Rayner is snapping at her heels when it comes to being a style icon.
Yesterday we played a lot of clips from her appearances over the weekend on television with the BBC and various others, where she kept saying things like, I don't recognise that, when she was asked if she'd once said, Keir Starmer couldn't run a bath.
Public has certainly noticed Starmer's shift. While some give him the benefit of the doubt, others see it as opportunism, trying to play both sides. For many, his newfound support for the monarchy looks like a calculated move to appeal to certain voters. This has sparked growing mistrust in Starmer's authenticity and highlighted the fragile nature of political loyalty. Recently, Starmer and his deputy, Angela Rayner, made several high-profile appearances with King Charles, fueling media attention. Their close association with the monarchy now contrasts sharply with their earlier criticisms, raising questions about the sincerity of their unity with the royal family.
Sir Keir Starmer, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty. You must be utterly exhausted and nearly on your knees. Not actually. Quite a group. Yes. Anyway, you're here. It's a very quick changeover as well. To say the least. We're having to get to
Ricky Gervais has been outspoken about Starmer and Rayner's royal appearances, arguing that they seem more about self-promotion than genuine public service. Gervais suggests they're using these events to boost their profiles, focusing on their image instead of addressing the issues that matter to the public. The hypocrisy hasn't gone unnoticed. Gervais has drawn a parallel between Starmer's shift and his past criticism of Donald Trump, who he once condemned for his stance on free speech. Now, Starmer seems eager to align with a different kind of power, leading many to question whether his actions are politically motivated, not principled, fueling skepticism about the authenticity of his leadership.
There have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British, of course what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. But no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
As political behavior in the UK becomes more transparent, the public is noticing troubling patterns, particularly with figures like Keir Starmer. His shifting positions and seemingly opportunistic approach to leadership are alienating potential supporters. What once seemed like a clear political vision now feels inconsistent, fueling a growing sense of distrust. People are no longer willing to accept leaders who change their stance for political convenience. They want authenticity. Starmer's actions are starting to feel more like a game to maintain power than a genuine effort to serve the public.
And that's why a Labour government would freeze council tax this year. No ifs, no buts.
Whoop, whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
This shift in public perception is reshaping the political conversation. More people are questioning whether their leaders truly represent their values or are just pushing their own agendas. With media scrutiny at an all-time high, figures like Ricky Gervais are speaking out, voicing what many others are thinking. His blunt criticisms of Starmer have sparked wider conversations about political authenticity and the motivations behind their actions.
So I'm worried about this, right? I'm a bit of a worrier anyway. and I'm a hypochondriac.
Social media has amplified these concerns, with Gervais's comments going viral across Twitter and Instagram, reaching millions. This has sparked a wider conversation about whether political figures are being truthful or just playing the game. The pressure on politicians to prove their integrity is growing as public skepticism increases. Starmer's shifting stances and the public criticism from figures like Gervais are fueling doubts about the authenticity of political leaders. As the UK becomes more skeptical, the demand for genuine, transparent leadership is clearer than ever. Are politicians truly representing the people or just playing the game? If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.